Alright guys, Tactical here. Today, hopefully the start of a new series for the off-season. Rostermania rumours, they're all over the place. It can be hard to get your finger on how things are going through, so I'm going to do my best to do that today for September 2nd. Hopefully, if the intel keeps seeping out, I'll make these videos as things progress, because of course things are going to change over time. I don't really have a super special source. Most of this stuff is coming from the CoD burner on Reddit. No one really knows who he is. He's answering a lot of random questions, so it can be difficult to filter through the information. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but he's been very reliable on what he's said so far in general, so most of what I say is probably what's going on behind the scenes, but as I say, all can change. So be sure to subscribe for the future episodes of the series. So, where else to start but the most recent announcement? 100 Thieves pick up Octane joining alongside Kenny and Pharaoh. So, it's an interesting pick. Maybe it raises more questions than it answers to some extent. He's definitely been probably a top 3 assault rifle the last 3 years, so it makes sense behind Slasher and Formal, but there were other options on the board. It's interesting that they would announce a pickup like Octane so early. One of the reasons could be that Nadeshot wants to instigate some sort of rivalry with OpTic Gaming. Of course, Octane, a former player, only been there a couple of months though, so he's not going to take that many fans away. Slasher. This is a very interesting topic of discussion, why Slasher hasn't gone to this 100 Thieves lineup already. One of the reasons could be that 100 Thieves didn't want to reach Rise Nation's buyout, which apparently is pretty high. Maybe they also decided they didn't really want him, considering the chemistry issues he can raise, but those are all speculation. Maybe he got a better offer, which is certainly possible. Codburner says here that Slasher didn't want to go to OpTic Gaming, and he also apparently doesn't want to go back to the Envy organisation. So what else could his offer be? Maybe he goes to Luminosity? Apparently maybe Luminosity with John might be an option, but then again, Formal is almost certainly going to stay on Luminosity due to his hefty buyout, and if Slash is a main AR, how is Slasher and Formal going to go on? He did tweet this out, which probably is bait, but he does say, mention when I'm running a sub, maybe there's an option of Slasher to go into a more flex aggressive role if John, of course, does stay on that team. So maybe that's an option. Maybe, of course, there's a new organisation coming into the fray. John is supposedly having an offer from, a really difficult offer to refuse, from another organisation. What could it be? Cloud9, Liquid, Fnatic, who knows who's coming back into the scene. But that's all speculation, of course. Now, Formal. He's almost certainly, as I say, going to stay on Luminosity Gaming. He has a $250,000 buyout, really high, and he probably wants to play with Gunless. That's maybe why he doesn't come to 100 Thieves here, because 100T wasn't... maybe they were looking into Gunless, but that buyout is probably too ridiculous for 100T to bring out as their first roster in Black Ops 4. Now, Dashy, seems like Dashy's going to go to OpTic, but we'll discuss that in a second. Not really sure why he would have, 100 Thieves wouldn't be going for him, but maybe they wanted something a bit more experienced like an Octane. And maybe, of course, Dashy preferred the OpTic Gaming opportunity to the 100 Thieves, because I still think a lot of players would prefer to go to OpTic, the fan base, or the rewards that comes with that. So, methods. Who knows where he's going to go? He's almost certainly off the OpTic Gaming lineup as far as I'm aware. Maybe he goes to an Envy, an Echo Fox, something like that. 100 Thieves clearly didn't approach him as a pickup, so I don't really know where Methods is going to end up. Accuracy as well was another option. Played with Kenny and Pharaoh, of course, had a lot of success with them. Doesn't really have the fan base and isn't really liked, I guess, by the community as much as some of these other guys. Maybe they didn't like that idea. Apparently Accuracy might be going somewhere like Ghost, but it's not really known so far. Team Caliber, as it seems, are going to be left with amateurs and leftover players, so not looking good for fans of them. So this 100T pick brings up an interesting question as to who they will get as their fourth player. There's a clear need for leadership here. Octane's never been a leader, he's still a young guy, and Kenny and Pharaoh are hardly going to be leaders, even if Pharaoh is calling shots in Search and Destroy. How many good options really are there? JCap is a big one. JP made a post on Reddit talking about how JCap would be the best fit, and I agree he probably would be the best fit for the squad. Maybe he comes off Luminosity? I think maybe he would, because apparently Formal has been talking about how he's had to develop a more leadership style character recently. Maybe he feels and the rest of Luminosity feels they don't need JCap on that squad. So maybe JCap goes to 100 Thieves. It would make very much sense as a pickup. He's played with Octane before. He has a habit of getting the best out of his teammates, and it probably would be the best pickup as far as a pure how good can we make our roster standpoint. However, Karma is still potentially on the board. Apparently, Karma does have an offer from 100 Thieves, but he's waiting for a 4v4, 5v5 announcement before he makes his pick. He doesn't want to be locked up before he knows the situation, which puts the organisations under a lot of stress because, they want to get things done quick. So, maybe Karma goes to this team. Can he fill the roles? He said he wanted to be a main assault rifle. He wouldn't be with Octane on the team, but he'll probably be willing to compromise given such a talented lineup around him. Potential rumours that Karma also wants to play with Formal, and it does seem, as far as I understand, that if JCap goes to 100 Thieves, then Karma will go to Luminosity to join up with Formal on that team. And that would probably leave no space for Slasher to play with John unless Slasher was a full SMG, which seems very strange to me. So things are very much up in the air, of course. And of course, the possibility of 5v5 would put a real cat amongst the pigeons. A lot of this would go out the window. Organisations have to assume that it's going to stay as 4v4 because they have no good reason to believe otherwise as far as I'm concerned right now. Karma would be the best pick in terms of fan base. It would just be crazy seeing him going there. Probably JCap's the best in terms of if you really want to build the best squad possible. Also, before we move off Karma, this was an investigation on Reddit about Razor, who sponsor 100 Thieves. The players they've recently followed, Octane, now on 100 Thieves, Pharaoh, Kenny, and interestingly, OpTic, Damon Karma Barlow. So maybe this is a clue? Who knows? Luminosity. We really don't know what's going on with Luminosity right now. It very much is difficult to say. Formal is almost certainly going to be on the team. Gunless will probably be joining him if they're willing to pay the buyout from Rise Nation, which might be quite a lot. But Gunless and Formal have wanted to team for a while. I can definitely see that happening. Now, John is still on the team and probably will remain on the team, but his girlfriend did put something on Reddit, which is now deleted, saying how John has potentially got a really strong offer, which he's going to struggle to refuse. But overall, he's probably most likely to stay, unless the Cloud, I'm just going to call them Cloud9, whatever the other organisation potentially coming into the fray is, whatever offer they put up, maybe that's one that tempts him away. I think Luminosity are trying to get rid of Slacked, no idea where he would go, make a more stacked roster, put it that way. So Formal, Gunless, Karma and John is maybe in the lineup. Maybe Slasher goes as an SMG, no one really knows. I'd say probably Formal, Gunless, John at the moment is currently the most likely three, but Gunless might not end up being there because apparently he has offers from 100 Thieves as well. I'm not sure whether he would go to 100 Thieves alongside Octane. It would make sense in terms of the roles, but where's the leadership on that team? Not really seeing it. So that's probably what I can say for Luminosity right now. Can't be so sure. Okay, we have to talk about OpTic. Scump, Crim, Dashy, TJ Halley is the rumour. CoD Burner says it's 99.9% secure that this is going to happen. OpTic have already bought out the contracts of TJ and Dashy apparently. It's a really interesting team, but it does make sense. Scump, Crim, they're now real veterans of the game. And it makes sense to bring in young talent, especially with such search and destroy pedigree. Dashy's fantastic in search. TJ, of course, known as, the Iceman. So Dashy will really have to prove he's the real deal. And I think Scump will probably benefit a lot from having a really aggressive SMG partner, because I don't think Crim could really live up to that role. Apparently, if it goes 5v5, OpTic want Karma to be on the team alongside these guys. And apparently Methods isn't going to return regardless of whether it's 5v5 or not. So this is the roster as of now. I'll go into more detail on it and what I think about it if it is announced. So let's talk briefly about the teams that are sticking. So first of all, we have FaZe. This is almost for sure. CoD Burner says that these are sticking together and Itachi is kidnapped by Kim Jong-un. He said it on stream and Zuma said it in his AMA. They have a lot of respect for each other. Who are you going to really replace on that team? People have been calling for replays to go, but he played fantastic at Champs and of course at Stage 1 where they won. Top 3 at Champs as well. And it doesn't really make too much sense for them to split unless they have a crazy offer. Zuma is apparently making mad money on FaZe, like 20k a month, something ridiculous like that, where most other top teams are given 10k, so he has no reason to leave. Another team that's probably sticking is Red Reserve. They've talked about sticking, of course, Rated, Joe, Scraps and Zero. You're not going to get rid of Rated, Scraps or Zero. Absolutely no chance. Joe will probably stay, but at some point I think that if Red are really looking to become the best team in the world, Joe is probably that player that's got to go at some point. And with Bance becoming available now off Splice as a restricted free agent, maybe you make that move. Jerd also is now alone on Splice as the single player with everyone else gone off the team. Madcat's gone, maybe Madcat goes into Red. It's a weird combination. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the European scene, but Red Reserve will probably stick, and Splice with Jerd will look for international talent. No idea where Bance is going to go as for the time being. I'll try and cover that in the next episode. Rise Nation. They've already lost TJ Halley's buyout apparently to OpTic Gaming, so he's already off the scene, and it would make a lot of sense that Slasher and Gunless will follow soon after, because they were arguably the stronger players on Rise, almost certainly in fact. So they'll probably go, which leaves Rise in a predicament because apparently they don't have the money to pay crazy amounts for the top stars. 100 Thieves is apparently paying 10k a month. Rise can only pay about 6k, something like that. So I think Looney's probably going to be looking for 3. Not many top players are going to want to come to this organisation based off the salary alone. So I think they're going to struggle to really get the best players, and I'm not sure who's going to come into the squad. E-United. Initially, I thought these guys were going to stick. But as it turns out, or at least recently announced, CoD Burner says 18 hours ago, a change will be made to E-United. And he later goes on to say that Clayster will almost certainly stay. He has like $100,000 buyout, and he hasn't got crazy high stock in the scene as well. And E-United are going to do everything they can to hold on to Clay because, without Clayster, where does most of their fan base go? So he apparently wants to stick with Felony on the team, and it would leave the 2 twins as a team of 2 coming off the squad. Now maybe someone like Simp from the Cadets would be a long-term target, but he only turns 18 in February. He can't join the roster initially. Who's going to join E-United is currently unknown. Where the twins go is also unclear. Preston, or that's Pristini, said on stream yesterday he doesn't want to go to Echo Fox. So maybe something like Envy would make sense. Hook is probably going to stay on Envy because he has a crazy buyout. But maybe you get Hook, Pristini, Arcetes. Maybe you keep Chino or something like that. Or you get another assault rifle in. Maybe that's your team, but who knows. Supposedly Karma is also a target for E-United to join the squad. But apart from that, not really sure what's going on. But a change on E-United does seem highly likely as it currently stands. Now, as I say, Envy, Hook's probably going to be the only one left on the team. Potential for Classic to also stay, but apparently, according to CoD Burner, Chino and Decimate are going to be off the squad. So Classic may stay, but have Envy really got a good main assault rifle lined up coming into the squad? We'll have to see. Echo Fox, is difficult to say anything really about Echo Fox. Don't really have any rumours on this. Aqua, phenomenally talented previously on the more fast-paced games, I guess. Saints, Temp, they've got so much talent, it just didn't seem to work out for them this year. So I'm surprised there's no rumours coming out about these guys. I guess their stock has dropped to a really low level, so I'm guessing a few of them will stay on Echo Fox, but nothing to really say there. Complexity, CoD Burner reckons that, so in Envy here, Hook locked, don't think they'll keep Dissy or Chini, then maybe they keep Classic. That's what he said 18 hours ago. And then we have down here, Complexity. They're shopping Blast and Ricky, most likely keeping Doug. So they'll probably keep Doug for the big branding. Dashy's already gone to OpTic, get rid of the rest, try and build something around Doug. But that's all I can really say for now. So that's the first episode. So we'll have to see. I'll make a new one of these in a few days when more things come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for the future episodes, as always. And I'll see you next time.